Good afternoon, I'm Herman Green with the Midday News. A special welcome to those of you watching online at onespotmedia.com. The Book Industry Association of Jamaica is reporting wide-scale confusion about conflicting information regarding textbooks to be used by students who are preparing for the Primary Exit Profile (PEP) examinations. The association says some parents are demanding refunds for textbooks they recently purchased after being informed by schools that they are no longer being used now that the Grade 6 Achievement Test, GSAT, has been phased out. TVJ's Jamaica Pullen has that story.
A number of booksellers across the island have been complaining about parents who are accusing them of selling them material that is no longer relevant. President of the Book Industry Association of Jamaica, Latoya West Blackwood, says booksellers have been caught in the middle of a messy situation. Therefore, the association says it has to direct these parents back to the schools.
I have advised our members formally they should direct those parents back to the schools because we cannot get involved in terms of that bit of confusion. Schools would have been issued with official booklets from the Ministry of Education. An official means that it bears a stamp which says it's from the ministry with the region that it's from. And my understanding is, schools would have been issuing those lists in July.
Mrs. West Blackwood says what comes as a surprise to them is that books that are tied to GSAT material are now labeled obsolete. She says they would have gone to workshops with the Ministry of Education, and what they're seeing now is not what they had understood from those sessions. Mrs. West Blackwood says the situation requires a clear response from the Education Ministry.
We understand that there would be a transition because the fact is there are, if they exist, just maybe a few materials that would have been revised or reworked to be called quote-unquote PEP materials because full text that would have been fully in line with what is being rolled out were not ready in a wholesale way for this September.
In the meantime, the association is seeking a meeting with the Education Ministry to get clear guidance on the matter.
And so, perhaps at this juncture we might get one, I'm not sure. But as I've said, what we remain focused on and interested in is playing our part in providing the nation's children with the requisite tools that they require, particularly high-quality textbooks. We have not lacked engagement in terms of reaching out to the minister and the ministry, and so we look forward to hearing from them.
Jamaica Pullen, TVJ News.
Meanwhile, Education Minister Ruel Reid says he has heard about some isolated cases where the PEP books are not available in some stores. Mr. Reid is expressing regret that parents will now have to go through this difficulty with schools and booksellers. He also says he's disappointed that this confusion is now happening as the Education Ministry has sent out book guidelines to all schools.
So anybody who is reasonable, if it is that you're transitioning from GSAT to PEP, we have been in the market long ago to say that the items are going to be different. The issue for me is the workbooks for GSAT that some schools seem to have indicated that parents should purchase. And I cannot understand that kind of irresponsible behavior by any school administration.
Mr. Reid is reminding all schools to follow the directives from the ministry concerning textbooks.
The content for PEP is the same content for GSAT. Therefore, the core text, the textbook, can still be used. The workbooks are the one that we are saying would be inappropriate in the sense that we don't want persons to be misled to think that it's the same item for GSAT that are going to be used for PEP. So that is the guidance that we have communicated to schools and is what we have communicated publicly.
The Mount Salem Police Station in St. James has still not reopened 4 days after the Parish Health Department ordered it closed. The station was ordered closed because of poor structural and unsanitary conditions. TVJ's Kirk Wright has that story.
It's real disgraceful to know that in St. James we have a police station that has to close based on the fact that the conditions are not suitable.
Councillor for the Mount Salem Division in St. James, Kerry Thomas, lamenting the state of the local police station. The station, which serves the entire Mount Salem division, was ordered to close its doors on Friday by the St. James Health Department. After touring the facility on Tuesday, Councillor Carey said the state of the police station is a cause for concern.
In the lobby area, its condition is poor. It's still an old wooden building that has been here for a long time. And when you look at the station itself, you wonder if it is still on the registry of the police as a property department, as an official station. The last time anything was done, well, I should say we and myself last year, Labor Day, looking at the condition at this police station, had initiated a project wherein which I supported and with members of the community built on a section here for the police to give them some more space and changing areas and locker areas to assist it.
With the zones of special operation still in force, Councillor Thomas added that the station is needed in the area, and this is why he is calling on the Minister of National Security to address the matter urgently.
I am pleading to the Minister of National Security, Honorable Dr. Horace Strang, to come to Mount Salem, visit the station, pay attention, and try and upgrade the station here as much as possible for the police and the residents of the community. I think we deserve in Mount Salem and here to have a very good station and a better condition for the working men and women of the force here and to serve the community.
However, Acting Chief Public Health Inspector for the St. James Division, Delissa Scarlett, says the station will be reopened once all the breaches are corrected.
We're currently addressing the issue, so we're working along with the representatives from the Ministry of National Security to address the problems that we identified. We don't have a timeline in mind at this time. When the breaches are addressed, then we will reopen the facility, when all the breaches have been addressed. Currently, there is work being done at the facility, as I said earlier, by the representatives from the Ministry of National Security.
Kirk Wright, TVJ News.
Still struggling to curb farm theft, the police are complaining about another illegal activity that's becoming more of a challenge, the meat for guns trade. They say the illegal activity is also discouraging some farmers from rearing certain animals. The issue was discussed on TVJ's Smile Jamaica program this morning. Details in this report.
The police say the meat for guns trade is still alive and flourishing. Speaking on TVJ's Smile Jamaica program on Wednesday, head of the Prairie Larceny Prevention Unit in the Agriculture Ministry, Inspector Maurice McLean, said recent animal seizures is proof that the meat for guns trade is still a problem. He pointed to the seizure of more than 30 goats during a police spot check in Clarendon in early August. Inspector McLean is reassuring farmers that his division is working to clamp down on the trade.
We have got the intelligence that there is a meat for gun trade, and this has something to do with one of our neighboring island out there. And
Haiti was the island
right,
mentioned.
Haiti, and the authorities are on it, and we are doing all our best to ensure that we put a lid on this.
Inspector McLean explains how the Prairie Larceny unit is assisting farmers to secure their animals.
At the unit, we conduct farm safety assessment in terms of a security survey. What this does is we physically walk the field with the farmers. We point out all the areas where we think are vulnerable and put some recommendations to the farmers. We also target some of the end users out there, because persons are probably sitting in their wholesales, in their retail shops, large establishments. Some of these persons are targeting the vulnerable persons out there who are unemployed to say that we need something in our shops. Go and find this and come back.
He says some farmers are doing the police's work and putting themselves at risk. Inspector McLean is encouraging farmers to let the police handle the matter.
We are saying to our farmers, there are a lot of things happening out there. Please do not take on the situation on your own. Whatever it is that you are experiencing out there, please partner with the police. Let the police in your area know what is happening at the earliest possible time.
Prince Moore, TVJ News.
Senior medical officer at the Savlamar Hospital in Westmoreland, Dr. Alfred Dawes, says that facility is now operating at crisis levels as the increased gun-related crimes put more strain on hospital staff. Dr. Dawes pointed out that on Tuesday, a man was shot just across the road from the hospital. The incident frightened several heart patients and sent staff members scampering. That shooting is just the latest in a series of similar incidents since Sunday. In the meantime, Member of Parliament for Western Westmoreland, Dr. Wickham McNeil, addressed the crime situation in the parish in Gordon House Tuesday afternoon. He pointed out that social intervention programs are needed for long-term transformation of the communities. But in the short term, he appealed for more crime-fighting resources to be deployed in the parish.
You have no police personnel in an area that is now being termed as the murder capital of Jamaica, or whatever it is.
Over 100 persons have been murdered in Westmoreland since the start of the year. In light of the recent announcement of a ban on plastic bags, plastic straws and styrofoam containers, the owner of one of Jamaica's fastest growing food chains believes there's greater need for public education. Speaking with our news team on Tuesday, CEO of Island Grill, Thalia Lynn, argued that if this isn't done, the ban could be ineffective.
You have to start in the schools, and Jamaica Environmental Trust has lovely programs that starts in the schools. If you don't start there, it's not going to happen. But there has to be a lot more done. You can't just ban, right? Because if you think about how plastic is used and how styrofoam is used, it's everywhere. I don't see how we can do without it.
A week after TVJ News reported that the only fire truck in Portmore St. Catherine was sent to Manchester, TVJ News understands that it has been returned. Mayor Leon Thomas had complained that the truck was removed once before, and on both occasions, the lack of a truck caused death, injuries, and damage to property. In commenting on the return of the fire unit, he reiterated the need for even more fire resources in a growing municipality like Portmore.
The size of Portmore need more than one fire station, and that is something that I have to have further discussion with the minister about. Portmore is growing. A lot of investment is now taking place in Portmore, and for one fire station in Portmore is a disaster. Portmore need at least 3 fire stations, right, and functioning fire stations with the necessary equipment to take care of fire.
He notes that with the hurricane season getting more active, fire units are even more critical. Meanwhile, he acknowledged that the local government minister has sent additional funds for more drain cleaning in the municipality, even as he pointed to work already done to prepare for any disaster.
All our shelter managers are trained, and we have about 3 different trainings. We have visited the shelters, and we have made all the necessary plans in regard to the shelters. We have food in store.
And it's time now for a preview of what's coming up in this evening's Health Report.
Health Report. Although Jamaica has an immunization coverage through the success of its expanded program on immunization, EPI, that does not mean children are not at risk for getting certain diseases. Diseases that can cause a child to become sick for an extended period, or in a worst-case scenario, the child can die as a result of some of these diseases. But family physician Dr. Orville Nemard says all of this can be prevented through vaccination.
So it allows you to be exposed to the illness without getting the full illness, and therefore, if it is you're now exposed otherwise, you are now immune.
We go on to sports. Jamaica's Sunshine Girls have been drawn alongside South Africa, Trinidad and Tobago, and Fiji for the preliminary group stage of next year's Netball World Cup at the Echo Arena in Liverpool, England. There will be 4 groups of 4 teams in the first stage, with the top 3 teams from each group progressing to the second preliminary stage. The Jamaicans will open their campaign against Fiji on July 12 before facing Trinidad and Tobago on the 13th and South Africa on July 14. The Netball World Cup will be held from July 12 to 21. And that's the Midday News. I'm Herman Green. Join us at 7 for the Primetime News Package. On behalf of the news, sports and production teams, Good afternoon.